Based on the same titled bestseller by Liana Moriarty, this show weaves a darkly comedic tale of murder and mischief in the tranquil beachfront town of Monterey, California. Amongst doting moms, successful husbands, beautiful children, and stunning homes exists a community fueled by rumors and divided into the haves and have-nots, exposing fractured relationships between husbands and wives, parents and children, and friends and neighbors. Told through the eyes of three mothers, Madeline, Celeste, and Jane, the series' narrative explores society's myths regarding perfection and its romanticization of marriage, sex, parenting, and friendship.
This week on You've Never Seen That, Big Little Lies.
From Atlanta, Fulton County.
But one objective.
The color I see. That you maintain the status.
December 7th, 19...
You never seen that! You never seen that!
Welcome back to another episode of the You've Never Seen That podcast. This is the show where two dudes watch a random episode of a random television show that they've never seen before, and they discuss the plot, the characters, and the fandom surrounding it. Who am I? I am one of your hosts, usually found on the right-hand side if you're sitting here, or the left-hand side if you're watching, the Senior Reverend Dr. Michael Haas.
It's new every time.
It is new every time. It changes a little bit.
This sexy voice belongs to your boy Bell, as always.
Also, sexy face if they're watching on YouTube.
Oh, and also with you.
And also with you.
Oh boy, we got a good one this week.
We got a real good one. I'm very excited about this one.
We are watching the HBO original series, Pretty Little Liars.
It is the, yep, you know what? I just realized now you're absolutely correct. It is the grown-up version of that show. We watched HBO's, I don't even think it's not even original. We watched Big Little Lies.
I guess it's not an original. It's based off a book.
It's based off of a book, but it is original to HBO.
We watched Big Little Lies. The interesting thing is...
Hold on. Before we talk about what episode we watched, I wanted to point something out to you. Did you notice we watched season 1, episode 1?
That was the interesting thing.
Oh, that was the interesting thing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
you were so that never happens.
In the history of this podcast, have we ever watched a pilot?
I believe it happened one other time, and I can't remember what show it was, which leads me to believe it was like Suits.
It could have been Leverage, which is also the same show.
The Good Wife? It may have been The Good Wife.
Did we watch The Good Wife?
We did watch The Good Wife. Yes. Yeah, it happened. It really happened. Think about it.
I have to go back.
Yeah. We have to go back.
We have to go back. If we have watched a pilot, I don't remember it.
I think the best part about watching a pilot is that it really defeats the entire purpose of this show.
I actually, as I was taking notes, I was like, this episode is going to be different.
It's not like I have questions that should be answered because I'm in season 3. Like, any question that I have, the writers of the show are most likely like, you're probably wondering about.
So the feeling that people have felt after watching the first episode of this show is the same feeling that we have now.
Yeah. Any confusion they have that they're supposed to have is confusion we now also have.
I have a lot of questions.
I do too, but I need to address something first.
I hope it's...
It's not what you think. I needed to point something out.
Do you know what I think?
No, wait, what? No, I don't know what you think.
Go first.
Okay, I just wanted to point out, in case anyone is watching, which you can find us on YouTube.
Oh, yes.
You've never seen that podcast, or if you're listening on Stitcher, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts.
Wherever you're listening now.
You can find it on YouTube, and if you find it on YouTube...
In the gym?
On the subway?
You're going to listen on the sofa?
You've never seen that.
You got to listen in the kitchen?
You've never seen that.
You got to listen in the bathroom?
Okay, we're getting copyrighted infringy here. If you're watching, you might notice that the set doesn't have much dressing to it, right?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
We don't have any set dressing, and I wanted to point out that it's not that we don't have it, you just can't see it. This is season 1, episode 1 of Big Little Lies called Somebody's Dead, and there's a dead body back here. Like, you just can't... We have it back here.
I actually didn't even think about not having...
We have it...
For those of you who have been watching on the YouTube, you've noticed that generally we will
have a little bit of zhuzh.
Sure.
Yeah, zhuzh. That's the word.
There's a lack of zhuzh. I didn't even
Lack
think
of
about
zhuzh.
that.
Yeah, other than the dead body again that
Right,
we
right,
totally
right.
have back here.
I just
so-
thought we were being lazy.
Nope.
Yep. Not us.
We manufactured a dead body, which is a nice way of saying you killed somebody, I think.
Before we get too far,
Okay.
did you notice who's in this show?
Everybody.
No. There is one person specifically that is in this show.
Well, we already talked about it as Laura Dern. Is it?
Oh, okay. Well, if you don't know the answer, when we get to it, we'll get to it.
Is it?
Oh, I can't wait. Producer Josh, do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure I know
Oh
exactly
my
what you're getting at.
God.
Did I miss somebody?
I cannot wait.
I
till
must
we
have missed.
get
I
to
think
the
I missed
cast
somebody.
part. Someone that I used to know. Okay, so let's dump.
Is Gautier in this?
Let's jump into what we knew about the show.
Right.
What did you know?
I knew very little,
Sure.
but more than Holton Catch Fire last week.
Okay.
So I knew that it was like a murder mystery drama.
Yeah.
And I also know that it came out at roughly the same time Game of Thrones was ending or Silicon Valley, one of the two.
Yeah.
I just distinctly remember watching a show on HBO and seeing a lot of trailers for...
They did push the show pretty hard.
Yes. So I remember seeing a lot of, this is a drama show that your mom is going to love. And I was like, I just want to watch Silicon Valley.
Okay, so I knew it was HBO.
Uh-huh.
I knew that the cast was like absurd.
I knew that as well.
Which we will get into
Yes.
in a bit here. There is another show that came out around the same time
Pretty Little Lies.
that also has a star-studded cast with mostly women that seems like it's the exact same show, and I believe it was called Sharp Objects
Yes.
with Amy Adams.
Wasn't that
It's called Sharp Objects with a different redhead.
Yeah.
Will you look that up? Because I'm
is
going to go
Nicole
crazy.
Kidman actually a redhead? I don't think she is. I think that's just
Oh,
a...
no, she's like notoriously a redhead.
Really? Oh.
Sharp Objects, Amy Adams. I thought this was
Was this
Sharp
like
Objects?
a Showtime or a...
I
what was this?
believe Hulu.
It was
Or-
a... Yeah, that makes sense. It was
or
a
is this
streaming...
also HBO? Anyway,
Oh.
these two shows came out at the same time. They were both like,
Huh.
we're going to fit as many powerful women as leads as possible. It's
Yeah.
also going to be dark and depressing. And
Yeah.
And so I was
These
like,
all sound right so far, yep.
I was like, I actually think that Sharp Objects might be in the hat. So
Okay.
we'll see. But anyway, I would get those two
Is
shows.
Laura Dern in Sharp Objects?
Probably.
I love Laura Dern.
Who's like the top billing? We got Amy
It's
Adams.
Amy Adams, obviously.
We got.
What do we got?
There's a lot of people. Like a lot. There's a lot of people in this thing. But anyway, my point is, I thought that this was that. It's not. it's a totally different show.
It's not. Yeah.
I knew that it was about murder,
Okay.
and I had a
I want
feeling.
to hit you with something.
I had a feeling that it was about rich white people.
I was just going to say, beyond murder and star-studded cast, what did you know?
Rich white people.
Yeah, that was about it.
Rich white people featuring Zoe Kravitz.
Wasn't it like I feel like all of the trailers for this were like drama sex death, really nice house pan shot, drama sex death, like
I mean, pretty much.
that was pretty much it, right? Like
I mean,
I didn't
we-
know that it took place in a beachside California. Like I didn't know it was Monterey, but I knew it was some rich beachside California town.
I was thinking that this was East Coast.
Like
for
a New Jersey type.
I was thinking it was like a
mob,
Maine.
Maine, really?
Yeah.
It was going straight secret window.
I thought this was like straight up like a Eastern Seacoast.
I could have seen this being like a Jersey thing, right? Like a mob connection thing, maybe. But
Yeah, and I honestly I didn't know like much else about it. Like you said, the trailers and all the things that they used to promote it was also very, very like they didn't tell you much.
yeah,
basically other
it was
than
just
like
a lot of drama, sex,
it
death,
was-
drama, sex,
the,
death.
the trailers are both mostly like, look at all the people that we got.
Yeah.
That's enough to get your attention.
You know what was funny was that it did.
It did.
And then if anyone asked me what that show was about, I was like, I don't know, but I think Adam Scott's in it.
Yeah, he's in it.
Isn't Shailene Woodley in it?
She's one of the. She's
one of the moms.
She's one of the 4 white moms.
This week on You've Never Seen That, Bad Moms.
I thought you were gonna say white moms.
White moms.
In my notes for characters, I have each of them listed as white mom 1 through 4.
Oh yeah. Wait, 1 through 4. Who's the 4th white mom? Laura Dern.
Laura Dern.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, dude, she's the one of the white moms.
There were all the white moms, but we know that it's told through the eyes of the 3 white moms. So,
what do we normally do?
you know what this
after-
show needed? You know what this show really needed? Catherine Hahn. It needed, like, I know it's supposed to be like a funny,
hang on,
sexy,
hang
but
on.
like,
real quick.
yeah, sidebar, yeah.
Are we just trying to like bring her up every single episode now?
I would do that.
because I think it's 3 in a row.
Friend of the show, Catherine Hahn.
I'm pretty sure it's like 3 in a row now.
I
where
would be
you've
okay with
said
that.
something about Catherine.
I'd be okay with that. She's amazing. She's so funny.
I don't think that there's any shows in the hat that have her in.
But here's the thing, right? Friend of the show, Adam Scott, who is
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
he's been in a lot of things with Catherine Hahn, so I'm sure we could.
Parks and Recreation.
Yep, yeah. And then also, Ghosted.
I don't know what that is.
It was
Oh, I
the
do. I
Craig
remember that,
Robinson
yeah,
episode.
yeah.
It was such a good show.
So anyway, what are you doing after this?
You don't get like pizza or something, or no?
Could.
Yeah. Well.
I
That's
gotta.
okay.
I actually gotta go home.
Yeah.
After
Okay,
this.
man.
Is there
Is there?
something?
We should be doing? Were we doing?
What do we
something?
normally
I don't know
do
what
after
right now.
this? What do we just do? We did the. What do we know? What's
Right,
what's
friend
after,
of the show, Catherine Hahn.
What's after?
Who is this for?
Yeah, who is this?
Is it who is this for? Producer Josh, can we get a
Correct.
Okay, all right, there we go.
Can I tell you who this is for?
Who is this for? Don't say Catherine Hahn.
This is for ladies. Here's why.
Okay, all right. Wow, this is a hot take right off the bat.
Ladies love 2 things.
Yeah.
Number 1, Cool James. Ladies love Cool
Oh,
James.
shit.
That's everyone knows. Number 1, ladies love Cool James.
Yep. Yeah.
That's 1.
That's true. Yep.
2, ladies love
Uh huh.
murder and true crime.
Okay. To be fair, you
They-
are. Oh, I mean, I know it's skirting a line, but
You know, and those 2 flip flop. Sometimes it's LL Cool J 1
and then
2,
murder,
but
is-
it's
and true crime 1 and.
Cool James, murder and true
Okay.
crime.
All right. Wait. Hold on. Given the success,
And it's also a very like powerful female centered cast.
given the success of true crime among the female demographic, how about we? What if we pivot?
Sure.
You've never seen that to a true crime podcast. This week on You've Never Seen That, Jeffrey Dahmer. Dude, we just got 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube. I said that, and now we have 1,000
We're
subscribers.
gonna hashtag this with every
Boom. True crime.
true crime thing.
What if we start branding this as a true crime podcast just for people to listen to it?
They said it was true crime.
said it was
but
true
ended up-
crime, but is it-
ended up being Wizards of Waverly Place?
They're
Okay.
just talking about Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Is one of
So-
them a murderer or something?
I think the demographic sways heavily to women.
To women.
I do. I think
Okay.
it's also an older demographic. I would say like
Okay.
early 20s
Okay.
and up. I would say it's probably a more like progressive demographic.
I'm sorry, but for some reason, producer Josh has found the most obscure demographic facts he could possibly find.
I'm really sorry.
He is currently displaying the percentage of Big Little Lies viewers that shop for shoe brands.
What
Was
is-
it number 1 Nike?
Yeah. It's
What's number 2?
new era.
These are they're just athletic brands. Is this show just? I mean, I know they run on the beach in this show, but is that all this show is?
Percentage of Big Little Lies viewers that
What-
shop
what-
for shoe brands.
What's number 3?
Vans.
This
It's
is
tied.
like-
Vans is tied with Polo Ralph Lauren.
Okay, so it takes us 4 shoe brands to get into a designer
Well-
shoe brand, and this is supposed to be in Monterey?
Listen, have you ever met a person wearing Vans that isn't a Big Little Lies fan?
No.
I'm
This is-
currently
you're-
wearing
you're
them
doing,
now.
You're doing the math backwards. You're doing percentage of Vans wearers that like pretty or Big Little Lies. And then the correct answer is how many people that like
Okay.
Big Little Lies wear Vans.
A question.
Yes.
I have a
Okay. Yeah, spell
something
me.
I'd like to add to the show.
Sure, okay.
From now on, when we break down the demographic of who watches the shows, it is in terms of the types of shoe they wear.
Shoe brands. Okay. I would not
Just
have said.
moving forward.
I'll tell you this. I would not have guessed that this show was a Nike show.
I wouldn't have
or
thought so
or
either.
a Vans.
I would have
Like,
thought
not
like
put-
high end
I would have said like Versace maybe or
Gucci.
or Coach even. I mean,
Marmot made the list.
wow. I will be damned. Marmot made the list.
Anyway,
Levi's.
so I think it's a
Okay.
It leans towards women.
Yeah.
I think it's a older 20 plus demographic.
Yeah.
Probably a little more progressive.
I would.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like that.
I always thought that the demographic was probably more older, affluent, educated was how I broke it down. I didn't.
Sure.
I didn't necessarily say male or female, although I can see how maybe it would be. I mean, it's told from a perspective of 3 females, so
Right.
maybe you could see that it would be more geared towards that. But I always just figured it was more.
Well, we know.
I figured it was more educated. I mean, it's affluent people because they pay for HBO,
Right.
which doesn't necessarily mean you're
Or-
affluent. It just means that you
or
decide to pay
steal it.
or steal it. But it just means that you decide to pay for premium television.
Mm-hmm.
And then just generally, I think HBO's audience is more like older people, right? Like it's just,
Yeah.
I don't think you get too many like
Well,
13-year-olds being like, "Oh my god, I need HBO.
I will. We do know that
I need to watch season 2 of True Detective, Mom.
We do know that it is based off of
I'm gonna watch
a
Gravity Falls in season 2 of True Detective."
best-selling book
Yeah.
of a pretty well-known female author.
I would love to know if the people who are familiar with this story from Leanne Moriarty, if they feel the same way about this show as people felt about Game of Thrones.
I think the reason why I say that this show skews towards females is because it's based off the book, and I'm pretty sure she's
Sure.
probably a writer that writes towards
For a
that
women
audience.
demographic.
Right.
Sure, yeah. But I guess my question is, like, every time you do a book adaptation,
Yeah.
right? Like, people love it or they hate it.
True.
Like there's not a whole lot of people who think Lord of the Rings sucks,
Well,
right?
there-
They might be like, it's incomplete, but nobody's like, it sucks.
There's the distinction. I think is like
It's not true. I'm sure we could find them on
I th-
Reddit, but they're
I think
not
the,
as many.
The distinction is like how much of the book are they like how much
Taking a
liberties
liberty
are they
with,
taking
yeah.
when they're like
yeah.
we're gonna change people's names or we're gonna change plot points or whatever. But
The
yeah, I
entire Tom Bombadil murder just didn't even make it
think,
in
well,
this show.
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think this show is for you?
I think so. I think I'd fall in the demographic.
Yeah, I do too. I'm
Yeah.
a affluent single female that wears Vans.
Yep. Some of those things are correct. Some of them aren't.
I'm not that affluent.
You are wearing New Balance, though.
That is true.
So
TJ Maxx, baby.
wait.
Can we-
New
can we-
Era. It was New Era, not New
We
Balance.
can't- we can't say TJ Maxx.
No, stop saying brands. Disney.
Okay. Well, let's quickly kind of
You want to just kind of
breeze
Sum up
through the cast. I will say.
I don't think it's fair for us to breeze through this, given the sheer firepower this cast has.
I will
but
say there is if you go on IMDb and look at who's in this episode, it's an exhausting cast list, but the ones that have screen time are kind of the ones that I focused on.
yeah,
So we mentioned the kind of 3 main moms.
yeah. Who are
Reese Witherspoon, white mom number 1,
Playing
Madeline McKenzie,
Madeline McKenzie,
white mom number 2,
Yeah. Nicole
Kidman, Celeste Wright. White mom number 3, Shailene Woodley, Jane Chapman, and then white mom number 4, Laura Dern.
I don't know that I'd count Laura Dern as white mom number 4. The story's
not part of the
necessarily-
3,
It's not
but
told
she
from her.
is-
She is a white mom in the series,
Yes.
though. Yeah.
And then we get Zoe Kravitz, who is non-white
White mom adjacent.
mom.
Yeah.
Adjacent.
Yeah, white mom adjacent.
Um,
Hey, do you remember when Shailene Woodley was in the detergent series? It was,
yeah.
It was hard. It was hard for me to
The-
not
that-
see her as like a child
Oh,
soldier
okay.
because of that reason.
I wanted to talk about her for a brief second.
Uh huh.
She is a very good actress.
Yes, very
Everything
yeah,
that
super
she's
talented.
in, she's great.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I feel like she is like a person that just like slipped through the cracks of fame.
Sure. Yeah.
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
she is
like she can
in-
like and she is a movie star, but she could still go to a Whole Foods.
Yeah, but also there's something about her that doesn't give off the like I am a
Right.
successful celebrated actress in Hollywood.
To be fair, I think that this show doesn't do much in terms of that rap for her because she is literally like she's starring alongside people who have been A-list icons
I
for
suppose.
decades.
True. But
But
I just,
Reese Witherspoon, her first movie had to have been like 30 years ago.
we're talking about the Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just
Laura Dern
Laura
was
Dern.
concerned about Tyrannosaurus Rexes when Shailene Woodley was born.
let me tell you about Laura Dern.
Yeah.
I love the Laura Dern-assance that's coming right now.
Yeah.
How she has been in like a whole bunch of stuff in the past like 4 or 5 years. She went away and did her own thing and was like, you know what?
I'm gonna do it again.
I'm back, baby.
Back, baby. I would love nothing more than for Laura Dern to be my slightly disappointed in the world rich aunt. Like you could be like,
I mean, yeah.
you could be like Aunt Laura Dern. I just graduated college, and she'd be like, wasn't Ivy League, but
So-
here's $20,000, and you'd be like, okay, cool.
So each of the white moms has their white husbands.
Sure.
Adam Scott
Yeah,
plays
Ed McKenzie,
Ed McKenzie,
which is-
Reese Witherspoon's husband.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We have Alexander Skarsgård,
oh boy,
who plays what the heck?
Perry Wright.
Perry Wright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to jump into it now?
The,
Oh boy.
can
Okay.
you? How many Skarsgårds are there?
Look it up? Is that including?
Wasn't one of the
what's
Skarsgårds
It?
the It clown?
Yeah, he was.
It wasn't
Bill. That was
him.
Bill Skarsgård.
And then there's a Stellan Skarsgård.
That's dad.
That's Dad.
That's dad.
There's not to
Stellan was in Chernobyl.
not that was real.
Wait, that really happened?
Call back to last week.
All right, yeah.
So okay, so not to mention another popular podcast, but
Sure.
Comedy Bang Bang has a bit where they tried to Google Stellan Skarsgård and it autocorrected to Stellar Skateboard, and so now they just call him Stellar Skateboard.
There's so many scars.
Anyway.
There's so many Skarsgårds that I don't think a movie industry can handle them, which makes me wonder. Like, do you think they just like parse them out? Like, do you think like 3 of them are famous in Europe, 3 of them are famous here,
I want to see
2 of them in Australia?
I want to see a celebrity death match.
Skarsgård Royal Rumble.
Skarsgård versus Hemsworth.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be a good one. There's Bill. That's,
okay.
That's Bill's. He's the It clown.
I knew that one of the Skarsgårds was in the
He's
It
the
clown.
It clown. Yeah.
Um,
Stellan Skarsgård is also the he's a crazy scientist guy in
Yeah.
Marvel movies.
Yep,
I forget his name
he's in a
right
bunch
now.
of Marvel stuff. Let's see who else.
I forget his name.
We mentioned Zoe Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz is
The daughter of Lenny Kravitz. Wait, there's a daughter Skarsgård? This is new to me.
I mean, I think there's
I'm
also,
sure she has some wild name like.
think
Yep, there it is.
I think there's also-
EIGA.
Is there also a Lady Hemsworth?
That's
Is-
a J, not a G.
Oh, it's EIGA.
You said G
Aya?
again. It's E-I-J.
J.
What am I saying?
You're
G.
saying
What are
G.
you guys saying?
J.
Which one is it?
J.
Okay, EIGA.
EIGA.
Aya? I'm guessing it's Aya Skarsgård, maybe.
Uh,
Is there a Lady Hemsworth?
I don't know. I
don't know.
For some reason, I think the Hemsworths.
I always thought there were only 3 Hemsworth brothers. There was the
Listen.
one married to Miley,
This is-
Thor, and then an attorney.
Enough of the Paul brothers fighting the Mayweather guy. We want Skarsgård versus Hemsworth.
That's true. I would
That's
take
what
that.
we want.
I would take that. Yeah, there's the 3 brothers, right? There's the one married to Miley, Thor, and then I think the other guy's an attorney.
We want the Hemsworths to fight the Skarsgård.
It doesn't really work
Yeah,
out
that's
that way.
a- that's a
not,
bad
not a great
chant.
chant, but okay. It's not even if you condense it, it's still a bad
Zoe
chant.
Kravitz.
Daughter of famous rock legend
So
Billy Idol.
so Zoe Kravitz is
Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
is Reese Witherspoon's
Ex-husband's
current
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
I don't know if it's ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, but it's
Well, they're not together. Yeah,
they're not together. Yeah.
It's a very confusing.
Well,
family
real
situation.
quick, we should just talk. It's Nathan Carson, played by James Tupper, is
Right.
Reese Witherspoon's ex-love interest. We don't really get clarity.
Yep. And then we have the kind of detective who we don't really get too much from. Her name is Adrienne Quinlan.
Okay, I didn't catch her name, but yeah.
Here's the one person I was telling you about. Do you know who plays Ziggy Chapman? Do you know who Ziggy Chapman is? When you see Ziggy Chapman, who's the little child, do you know who that is?
Oh no.
That, my dear boy, is a person that we like to call Young Sheldon.
Oh my God! It is Young Sheldon.
The
No.
kid is Young Sheldon.
Oh, I hate it.
I
hate it.
I had to pause and just celebrate that we got a little bit of
There's
Young
a
Sheldon.
tiny bit of Young Sheldon in everything that I do.
Did you not?
Oh no!
Did you not?
No, I. Oh God, no, I didn't.
I knew right
No,
away. I knew right away.
That poor child. You know what was funny was I thought he was just a child actor, and I
Nope.
looked at him and I was like, okay, just a child actor.
That is Ian
No.
Armitage.
Oh, God.
Young Sheldon himself.
You know what? I can't hate on Ian because he's getting his. Like, that dude's got to be rich as hell now, but,
Oh, boy.
woof.
And then we meet, a handful of other characters here and there, but those are
Yeah,
kind of
those
the
are
ones
the-
that matter.
yeah.
I wrote down that Nicole Kidman has 2 white twins.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't realize Gordon Klein is Laura Dern's husband.
Yeah, we only see him in like one scene.
Jeffrey Nordling?
But that's kind of it. And, normally what we do is when we kind of dive into the plot, we kind of break things down into overarching A, B, and C plots.
Yeah.
There seems to be maybe 2 plots happening?
I got that.
Or
there-
it's all
there-
kind
there's-
of one arching story.
So, being that it's from a book, it's kind of like stream of consciousness.
Sure.
And I think that it makes for a much more engaging story, but it's not like a show like Wizards of Waverly Place where you can say like A, B, C. It's really more like overarching plot is there was a murder.
Yeah.
We know there was a murder. We know that everyone in town is connected through some little way, and then we know that Jane Chapman, Shailene Woodley's character, has a checkered past. Those are like the.
Is this a limited? Is this just a limited series, or is there multiple seasons?
I think there's
Oh,
multiple.
multiple
I think
seasons.
there's multiple
Didn't we-
seasons, but I do think it is a limited series. I don't think. I think it's over.
2?
Yeah,
seasons?
I think there's two
2
seasons.
seasons. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, let's kind of dive into kind of the way that this episode unravels. So it is
Sure.
It is HBO. It's an hour-long episode. And HBO has the reputation of being highly stylized, almost like movie
yeah.
episodes.
It
right?
opens like a movie.
It's a Hulu series.
What?
Wait, what? Big Little Lies is Hulu?
Is it on Hulu? Or
I
is
it
it's
on Hulu, but it's at HBO.
a television series by Hulu.
Are we completely wrong? It is freaking Sharp Objects the other one that is actually
But we watched this on
Nope,
HBO.
Nope, sorry. This is for
HBO.
the authors has another show.
Nine
Oh,
Perfect Strangers.
Nine
That's-
Perfect- okay, she
That's
has
going
it-
to be a Hulu show.
That's gonna be Hulu. Okay, so this
I'm
one-
wrong.
Okay, all right. No,
I'm saying G.
that's
now.
yeah. EIJA. IGA.
Let's
It's the G sound.
let's dive into the episode.
Sure.
It starts off and immediately you are dropped into a setting of someone died. The name of the episode is Somebody's
Someone's Dead.
Dead. And
Not to be confused with this dead body that we very much have back here. Don't have back here.
I thought it was Maine. I
Sure.
don't know why. We
There's
get
a lot
like a
to be-
coastal.
I was gonna say, to be fair, there's a lot of coastal shots, and I
Yeah.
can see your confusion.
And I I knew that it was like about a bunch of
To be fair, that's the other demographic that
rich-
rich white women love.
rich white people.
So yeah, city witches.
In my notes,
Uh-huh.
my second note is
Yeah.
is one of these kids Young Sheldon?
Oh God, you knew it.
With multiple question marks. And then by the time it went to him the second time, I had to pause and go, it's my boy Ian Armitage. Big fan.
Big fan of Ian. Longtime fan of the show, Ian Armitage.
And then I wrote, holy fuck, this intro makes no sense. Are we sure this is the first episode? That's what I wrote.
It was very much like you got
Everything.
from the very beginning of the show. This is an artsy HBO show.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell from the huge cast and the ridiculous budget
So-
I'm sure it had, you get it within the first 2
as
seconds.
this episode unravels,
Yeah.
you quickly realize that every single one of these white moms, maybe with the exception of Shailene Woodley,
Uh-huh.
is insufferable.
Yes.
Reese Witherspoon
Oh,
is
God.
awful.
Here's the thing. This
Nicole Kidman, awful.
terrible. Okay,
Laura
to be
Dern's
fair,
fine.
To
Laura
be
Dern's
fair,
fine.
to be fair, they're all the worst, but they're incredible actresses, and
But is it?
they're doing such a good job at being
Do you think
insufferable.
it's? Do you think it's that they're the worst, or that it's just like they're white moms that live in suburban California? That's
like
just,
that is inherently the worst,
and that
Like,
and
if
that
you-
we as just like two
white moms
dudes,
in suburban Minnesota.
as two dudes
Yeah.
who talk about the plot, the characters, and the fandom surrounding
yeah.
television
Uh-huh.
shows, and we're just not a part of that world.
I don't know. I have a note later on in my notes that I was like, I would love to be a part of this world with nothing to do with this world.
Because I
Like,
I think it's a testament to how good the acting is, because very quickly you establish, none of the protagonists are likable.
Are likable, with the exception of
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley, yeah.
Even though she's like might be the bad guy.
She might be the bad guy, but
we don't know.
know.
Okay, so what was your plot A that you had?
Plot A was somebody's dead.
Right.
We don't. Here's the thing. We don't know who is dead at the end of this episode.
I was gonna say the interesting part about this whole thing is we don't know who died.
I think I know who died.
Do you think it is a child?
What? No.
Because doesn't this take place in the school?
Well, there's school. Like, school is one of the settings, but no, I don't think
For
they
some
kill
reason,
a child.
I don't think they kill a child either. But
What?
It takes place.
I mean,
at
I know
the
HBO
school.
is dark, but
It takes place at the school.
to be
so I
fair, they
thought-
did light that girl on fire in Game of Thrones.
That is true.
So, I guess it's not out of the realm. No, I think I know who died.
Okay.
I think, and let me find my. I want to find my exact note for it because it came up through it. But they say, what the hell? What's his name? The boyfriend husband.
Boyfriend husband. Nate.
Nate. Yeah.
Nate, who is
He says-
Zoe with Zoe Kravitz.
He said Nate was always kind of an asshole, but a likable asshole. One of the
so
characters
you
says
think that he's
one of the
dead.
characters says that in the interview, but they never interview Nate.
Let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
There are kind of two settings to this episode.
Sure.
We get a kind of a series
There's
of
almost like three
timelines.
three timelines.
We get a series of flashbacks of the actual incident.
The night of the
the event.
Yeah.
We get
And then all of the interrogations that follow shortly thereafter.
the interrogations are a series of people who are parents of children that go to the school.
They're like the tertiary characters.
and they kind of cut interstitially. Is that the correct word?
Sure.
To these people
Intermittently?
who are kind of telling their opinions of. I think somewhere in the following episodes, the three moms become suspects.
I think. Well, they say at the end of this episode, everyone is a suspect. So
Because the way that the interviews are set up are like highlighting these three characters.
But also, you realize there are certain characters that never get interviewed.
yeah, which are like the
Laura
three,
Dern,
the
three moms,
the three moms.
Zoe Kravitz, Nathan.
So all the main characters that we list are not the ones that are included
Adam
in the,
Scott
in
never-
the
yeah.
interviews. Yeah, I guess I never thought about that.
Yeah,
That
the
does
main
make sense
characters
that
are never
Nate
interviewed.
Could be
The dead one?
the dead guy.
Yeah, it would make sense.
It is a very interesting thing to like set up someone's dead. That's what the whole thing is about. We're not going to tell you who or why or what or anything.
It's kind of cool because it's like murder mystery for a new generation almost. It's like Murder, She Wrote, but better.
So we set up that Shailene Woodley is Young Sheldon's mom.
Yes.
She is the kind of outcast. All the other moms know each other. They have some past, some history.
Yep.
This seems to be like a very tight community, and she seems very much like an outcast.
Well, you have your
She
three. You have your three timelines. The first being the night of the event and the murder and the subsequent questionings.
Yeah.
You have the first day of school, which is where Reese Witherspoon meets Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
And then you have like
Aaron Rodgers' girlfriend.
Is that?
Yeah, he went from Olivia Munn to Shailene Woodley. So, because he can throw a football well.
He does throw footballs very well. And then you have there's like a far back plot that's almost like we don't know if it's entirely real.
Yeah.
It like involves like a lot of flashbacks to like nice hotel rooms and a blue dress.
Let's
and,
talk about
and running on a beach maybe.
Let's talk about Shailene Woodley quick because
Sure.
she seems to be kind of
dating Aaron Rodgers.
She seemed to be dating Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, seems to be, which is
she seems to be kind of your main protagonist, right? Everything
is
kind
it
of
her or is it Reese Witherspoon?
I feel like it's set up to be about Reese Witherspoon, but as the episode kind of unravels, you're starting to realize that like Shailene Woodley is the catalyst for whatever's about to happen.
Yeah.
There are things that happen.
Sure.
She's an out-of-towner.
Uh-huh.
She's also much younger than the other moms.
Much younger than the other moms.
She's a single mom.
Yep.
There is no mention of her partner.
Yeah.
We get random scenes where young Sheldon is up to no good.
Mm-hmm.
starting trouble in his neighborhood.
Oh my goodness, Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers are engaged? Good for them. Hey, good for them.
Hey, great job, Aaron.
Yeah, good for them.
I think he gets into like one little fight or something.
What happens with his mom? How does his mom feel about it?
She did.
What happens to...
They go to a school in whatever California.
Yeah, Monterey.
Anyway, but like we get a whole bunch of scenes.
I got
like
one little fight, and my mom got scared and said, "You're moving to Monterey, where there's an abundance of rich white women who have too much time and maybe commit a murder."
But we get like these random scenes,
And you're moving
where
with the auntie, you know.
we get these random scenes where young Sheldon is just like wearing a tank top in the middle of
Okay,
the night,
right.
Just like.
That was weird because he didn't have a shirt on previously.
But I think that's like a something that like a.
Yeah, it's almost like
a callback to something that we don't know yet.
we don't know about. Yeah.
So there is at the very end when she puts a gun under her pillow.
Yeah, that does happen.
And so we also get several scenes where she's running in the sand, which
Yes.
is like a metaphor that she's running away from something, right?
You think that's what it is?
I think so. She
Oh.
seems to be very on edge. She has a gun under her pillow.
Yeah.
I
I think we're meant to establish that Shailene Woodley's character has a troubled
I
past.
think she is running away from something or someone.
Okay, let me ask you this though: is she running away from something, or is she running to something?
I'd say away.
You don't think that whatever she's trying to find, maybe she's hunting something in Monterey?
No.
How do we know that Nathan wasn't the man in the nice
Because
hotel room
I think
and the father of Ziggy?
I think.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Think that I think that just based on her, based on how she reacts to her, to her situation, and just like the couple scenes where she's like on edge. She puts the pill.
It's
It
very
seems like
much
she's,
meant to be set up that she
like,
has a
protecting
troubled
herself.
Yeah, she has a troubled past, and
The other kind of main thing that happens in this episode, young Sheldon gets
paid.
he gets accused of choking a girl at the school.
Yes, yeah, Laura Dern's kid.
Laura Dern's kid,
Yeah.
and the way that they address it is like, we're going to address it in front of everyone and make things very
awkward. Yeah.
And obviously, young Sheldon's like, I didn't do this.
Uh-huh.
And Shaylee Wood's like, okay, you're my son.
you're my
I
son,
believe you. And then everyone's like, you're a liar.
I think that that scene in particular for me was kind of like a bit of a stretch, you know? Like I feel like maybe it's done much more better in the book because like Laura Dern's character is supposed to be like this successful, she's on the board of PayPal and she's a career woman and she doesn't take no shit from nobody and she's just full of tenacity and piss and vinegar, and then she's like, nobody's gonna hurt my daughter, I'm Mama Bear Big Bad. And it was like, it didn't really come off that way, but I felt like that was more like the show than maybe the actual story.
The funniest part is Laura, the teacher has the daughter point out which student choked her.
Uh-huh.
And she just points. And they go to the one brown kid first. I don't know if that was like an intentional thing or if that's just like what happened, but all I could think was like, of course you think it was the one brown kid. And then they're like, no, not the brown kid, young Sheldon. And I was like, did they? And then actually this right after that is when we see the
and right after that
flashback
is,
of Sheldon being creepy.
Yeah, it's when he turns to his mother and he's like, you see, mother, I could not have choked her, for the circumference of my hand is only... I was like, oh, it's a crossover episode.
There's a moment where we are at dinner with Reese Witherspoon's family.
Yeah.
And Adam Scott, who is her husband, he says to her, you're drawn to damaged people.
Yes.
And it sets up this like kind of awkward part. The thing that she said in my notes, I just wrote big oof, because she says, they talk about the incident of young Sheldon choking the girl.
Right.
And she's like, well, it's fine because bruises heal and stigmas last a lifetime. And I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's,
yikes. Like, oh, she felt worse about young Sheldon than the girl that actually got choked because, oh.
Yeah, there was, so the preamble.
You're unlikable.
The preamble to this is like strained friendships, fractured homes, right?
Yeah.
One thing that this show did so incredibly well, though, was that it actually, like, it showed accurately what a fractured home is. Like that
Yeah.
dinner scene, they don't
Yeah.
throw plates at each other.
No,
They're not
no.
swearing at each other. Mommy and daddy aren't like. There's no hint of violence. It's just more like a strained relationship, right? Like
It felt
like
very
daughter
real.
like
felt very real.
daughter, a teenage
The
daughter
two
wasn't
daughter-
super
so
stoked
there's-
about
There's
it.
Chloe, who's the youngest daughter, who,
Yeah.
by the way, fantastic.
Great child actor.
She's
Great child
every
actor.
one of her lines. I'm like, this
Yeah.
kid is hilarious. And then we have Abby, who's like the teen daughter.
Yeah.
So you get a sense that like she had Reese Witherspoon had Abby when she was like super young.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know if Chloe. I think they might be half.
I think they're
because
halves,
that's their kid with Adam Scott.
yes. Yep.
Anyway,
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
but yeah, when she says the stigma part, I'm like, ugh.
Here's the thing, though, and this is why this show is good, but that school scene was kind of it kind of fell flat for me, at least. Was like in that situation, if you're a parent, if you're Laura Dern, you're gonna be like, who the fuck choked my kid? I'm about to slap a
Right.
child, which
Yeah.
is how we got NBC's The Slap. And then we got like that's a human reaction that you see, and Laura Dern even calls it that. Like when she's talking to her husband, she's like, "I had a human reaction," which like
Yeah.
that was like good writing. And then Shailene Woodley is like, "No, I believe my son,"
Yeah.
and it's like that's also a very human reaction. But the scene itself, like, just kind of fell flat because the teacher was like, "We'll schedule a meeting at a later date." End conversation. And then they just walk away, and it's like,
Yeah,
that's it like maybe they were trying to downplay the drama of like Laura Dern being like this protective mother, or like Shailene Woodley like backing her kid, but it like felt like it fell kind of flat. So when Reese Witherspoon gives that line, I was kind of like, I guess she's trying to make a point, but like I don't know anyone in the right mind who would be like, yeah, let's agree with that.
I guess since what we're kind of doing is sort of like jumping from mom to mom. So we
Sure.
talked a little bit about Shailene Woodley. We're kind of talking about Reese Witherspoon. The other
Yeah.
kind of plot with her is that her daughter Abby seems to be closer to Zoe Kravitz than her.
Yeah.
And Zoe Kravitz is the
Stepmom?
the person that's currently seeing her ex-husband.
Right.
And so she feels a little like slighted by the fact that her daughter is like hanging out with this cool hip yoga teacher who's
Yeah.
like she's cool
Younger
and she's
and
young
prettier
and she's
and
hip
she's
and
cool.
she's
Yeah.
brown.
Well, you're not wrong, but
I'm really not.
you're not wrong. I feel like that's a trap. I feel like if I would have said that, this would go
Yeah.
a very different way.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't-
That's why. Well,
Is that?
So there's a moment where it's supposed to be kind of this emotional moment of like, you're my daughter, I'm your mother.
Uh-huh.
Like, we might not like each other, but we still love each other. You know, that whole thing.
I thought that moment was actually kind of touching.
It was. But then, did you notice that when the little girl comes in,
Yes.
things flipped, right?
Yes,
I think
because
that
it's meant to set up the tension that she is more connected with the younger
Right.
daughter than with the older daughter.
and I think we get a sense that they must be half.
They are,
related.
yeah. No, they are. Because Abigail is Nathan's daughter.
Yep.
And Chloe is Adam Scott's daughter.
Let's talk about Nicole Kidman and the Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is that they are very
Affectionate?
physically affectionate.
Yeah.
We also realize that Alexander Skarsgård is a fucking psycho.
Yes, which, to be fair, given the Skarsgård line,
Well, no, 'cause,
the
like,
other one was
they-
literally a murderous clown that comes out once every 27 years.
They
so
set it up to where like, oh, they're just like physical and they love each other and they're always hugging and kissing.
Yeah, their relationship is very torrid
and the interviews,
real sexual.
the interviews, everyone talks about how like, yeah, they're too old to be this like
Yeah.
physical, right?
Right.
And then we get to a scene where they have a little bit of a spat, and he grabs her arm and
Yeah.
is like, "Yo,
Keep
I'm
the
crazy."
twins away from
Young
Ziggy
Sheldon.
Stardust because young Sheldon.
And she
Okay, can I
fights
real-
away, and I feel like it's
real quick. Can we sidebar for a second about this?
sure.
So in that we're actually fully sidebarring. Only the video viewers will understand what just happened. Okay, so they always keep saying like, but he's so much younger than her. They shouldn't be so affectionate.
I didn't even think that he was
He's
that
so-
much younger. But anyway,
Right, but then I also was like, dog, Nicole Kidman's like a smoke show. Like she's a very
Yeah.
beautiful woman. Like
Right.
what do you?
Not
What is
she
the-
is not out of the Skarsgård league.
Yeah, no. Like there is nothing that
they look like a
seems-
normal California
They-
couple.
Precisely.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that tension of him being kind of like a physical abuser
Yeah.
will come full circle somewhere.
It definitely will. And this is like this whole. I wrote down this episode is very much a the undercurrents type of show, and like that's. Like, Celeste's husband has a temper, Reese Witherspoon is kind of detached from reality, and their marriage might be strained, and Laura Dern is an overbearing success monger, like, oh no, the undercurrents!
So we get kind of a glimpse into each one of the white moms'
Yeah.
experience as someone is killed, right?
Yeah. Also, real quick, the whole Skarsgård...
Skarsgård versus Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Happening live on YNST Network. Tune into our YouTube where we'll be streaming all of the Skarsgårds fighting all of the Hemsworths. Only on the YNST Podcast YouTube.
Channel? Okay. Wow, I had some... No, okay,
He's going to have a lot to work with.
he will,
It's
yeah.
going to be a bunch of
What if there was just a
Skarsgårds
death
and
match
bunch
happening
of-
underneath us constantly throughout the entire show? Anyway, we just keep setting that realistic expectation further and further away. No. So the thing about the Skarsgård, though, and the reason he gets physical with Nicole Kidman's Celeste is that he's like, I don't want our sons hanging out with this maybe like bad, like he hurt Laura
yeah.
Dern's daughter, and that looks bad, and I don't want them associated with that. So you very much get the idea that like, oh, he crazy.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
mean,
he
it's
he
not until that
crazy.
moment where you're like full crazy.
Yeah. Yes. He also does read like a children's story about murdering people to
That
his
is
kids.
true. That
So
is true.
probably not completely blindsided by that one.
So the reason why I feel like this whole episode kind of oddly enough revolves around Shailene Woodley is because of the ending. Also, we get kind of a quick scene where someone is filing off the serial number off a gun.
Yeah.
And we don't know who or when this is happening, who's doing it, what, like the ending turns into this kind of like
Again, it's very
mishmash.
stream of consciousness.
They use these kind of visual effects where like you see lots of sex and don't know who's sexing who.
Yeah, we know there is sexing.
But I think the reason why I think it revolves around Shailene Woodley, and also like she is going to be kind of the catalyst towards what happens, is the scene where she puts the gun under the pillow.
Yeah. Here, I got two things for you first.
Sure.
First of all, did you notice that like they make it a point to show how good of a mother Shailene Woodley is? They don't actually say it.
It's like very
when
intentional.
Like when she goes to bed, she's sleeping on the pull-out couch, and like the boxes are all still there, nothing's unpacked. But then when you open the door to Ziggy's room,
full bed.
There's
like
made. There's like stars on the ceiling. It's light up. There's planets and mobiles, and like you could tell that she put like 20 hours into getting him set up, and like 3 into her.
Right.
So like they don't do this thing where like they don't have, like she doesn't have to. They show it instead of saying it, which is always like good. And HBO is so good at doing that, which is like that's one moment where you're like, oh, the caliber of the show is actually like very high. Also, I have this question.
I might not have the answer.
You're not going to have this answer, so I want you to come on a journey with me.
Sure.
Do you think?
This is me walking.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
Do you ever think whichever child actually choked Laura Dern's daughter, their mom is the one that killed the guy?
You mean the brown kid?
Nope. Nope. I'm saying, do you think that plot is foreshadowing? Like it's like it's intentionally alluding to
that one made me laugh.
Yeah.
that one was for me.
It was. I'm glad you. Anyway, we watched True Detective Monterey. This week on You've Never Seen That,
So
CSI Monterey.
The very ending is kind of this.
It's meant to be suspenseful.
It's suspenseful, and it kind of sets up like the tone of the show.
We
right?
know there's some things, right? There's some sexing.
Let's tie this.
There's some killing.
Let's tie this directly into Bang Bang Dead.
Oh my God, we got it right this time.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I think everyone does everything. I
agree with you.
who of the main cast dies? It's got to be someone.
Skarsgård.
You think so?
I think Skarsgård dies.
You think that Nicole Kidman? Oh wait, yeah, Nicole Kidman.
I think Nicole Kidman offs Skarsgård.
or like she tells someone and then.
I don't even think it's that. I think she straight up offs him because she like the whole microcosm is like when he grabs her arm, she's like, "Stop grabbing her arm! You're hurting me!" And then he doesn't listen, and then she's like, "Take your hand off my fucking arm."
But they have two beautiful white twin children.
Well, I mean, they'll be very successful despite not
sure.
having a father. No, I think Nicole Kidman kills the Skarsgård of anything.
I think
Adam Scott has an affair.
I think that Shailene Woodley messes around with one of the white mom's spouses.
Okay, which one is it?
Probably Adam Scott.
Think it's Adam Scott? I don't think it's Adam Scott.
I don't know. One of them.
No,
Skarsgård?
No, Skarsgård. He's dead.
He's dead.
Laura Dern's husband?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We didn't talk about him too much, but it could be.
What if Laura Dern and never mind.
Yeah, he's Gordon Klein, who's the name of the character is just like this bearded guy.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about him. There's a scene where he just like says some. I forget what he says.
But you get the idea that Laura Dern and him like chose like they chose success and affluence over family.
Yeah.
You get that, and it seems
So it's hard to say who dies, who
All right,
bangs. I feel like there's probably a lot of banging and
Yes,
probably
some
a
dying.
couple significant deaths.
I would say there is a high to severe amount of banging and a low to moderate amount of dying. If I had to guess, that would be.
I can't even make a joke.
Okay, so anyway, it's a pizza place where the pizza cutter brings the pizza to
Sure.
life.
Okay.
And then it grants people's
God damn it.
wishes.
Call back to 3 weeks ago. Yeah, they set it up to where there's a lot of sex.
Yeah.
We know that
We
much.
know, we see the
We
sex.
see it. We just don't know who's
Yeah.
sexing who.
Do you think she can tell he's hard right now?
Oh my god.
That is a callback to the song Next, or by Next, called Too Close. Only our viewers from the like 90s will get that. But anyway,
Oh boy.
there's pre-roll. There's probably a teaser clip out there that has us talking about this song. That's not out of context.
It's
completely out of context.
Well, it sounds like we have a lot
But
of
there is
thoughts.
a lot of sexing.
We have a lot of thoughts. We also had the unique opportunity to watch the first episode.
I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on if you'll continue watching this.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead. But I'd like because when I watched it, that's what my thought went to.
So I have heard a lot of good things.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. We forgot to address one last thing, which
What?
is at the end, the very end of the episode, we see the beach and the footprints.
Mm-hmm.
And
Are
then
you
we
going to
see
make a Jesus joke?
I was about to make a
Okay.
Jesus joke.
Pretend-
Yep, we see
go
the
ahead,
one.
set up the Jesus joke.
Okay, yep. So we see the footprints, and then there's only one footprint at
There-
the end.
There is only one set. Yes.
Because that's when Laura Dern carries you. Okay, if anyone in that show is carrying you, who is it though? It's Laura Dern.
Oh, that's a good one. That was a good one. You got me.
Laura Dern's
You
tucking
got
you in
me.
at night, and she's like, when you only see one set of footprints.
Laura Dern.
We'd like to thank Laura Dern for this episode, and also with you.
This is the dumbest podcast.
It's up there. It's
Oh boy,
it's up there.
Okay,
What are your thoughts?
was I talking
Your
about?
thoughts
What
on
did
this
we
show?
Watch.
Yeah,
What is this?
Pretty
We're-
Little Liars.
What does it say?
What is the? Oh, we do have one.
It says Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies.
Most of the people that I talked to were women,
Yes.
and they all love the show.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, you actually talked to people about this show?
Yeah, a couple people.
Okay.
I don't know any dudes who are like huge Big Little Lies fans.
Sure.
But HBO does nothing but good stuff.
That's true.
The first conversation we had off mic was this cast is bonkers.
Stacked.
Um,
Oh, I'm just now realizing that Chernobyl was HBO.
Oh, yeah.
And it had another Skarsgård.
and it actually happened.
It actually was a real thing. Who knew?
I think
Wait, did this show actually happen?
we don't know.
We don't know.
Um,
Someone get Leanne Moriarty on the phone.
so I think that the cast alone was enough to like pull people in, and they didn't have to do too much advertising on what the show was about because
Right.
they're like, look who's in it, look
Yeah.
who we got, you know.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the success of the book that it's based on is a lot more than we
just
than
don't know about
like
it?
maybe
Yeah.
Liane Mori
I think it was Leanne.
Lion Mori is like a very, very. Can you look up how successful that book is, or how successful
Yeah, was that
she is?
ever on Oprah's like Book of the Month?
You know, you asked me if I will watch this.
Yeah.
I think I might.
Okay.
It's
All right.
pretty. It kind of got me.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a mix of we watched the first episode,
Yeah.
so like
Do
we're
you think
not
we'd have a
into
higher rate of shows we want to watch if we watch the first episodes?
people like Lucifer.
Yeah, good point.
I don't. I
That's a
mean,
good point.
for those of you who are normal, regular listeners to the show, you know that Lucifer is the bane of this show's existence.
Okay,
That-
I'm just curious.
that
You,
there
had, you
is-
had Lucifer as the devil just laying on the table like that, and you didn't.
yeah.
You didn't take. Okay.
Anyway, the show is not just well acted, super well written.
Right.
Everything feels very real. Everything feels very organic.
Yep.
It does a good chance, like you said earlier, of showing and not telling. Like there's so many moments where like, what is that? What is this? And they don't
Yeah.
tell you. They're just like they set it up and they just kind of tease you with it, right? So it is, yeah, best New York Times
It's
bestseller
okay. It's in the
2015.
bestseller list. It's won some awards.
Yeah, okay,
Like, yeah.
so-
Okay. It's.
So she must be a pretty well known author.
Yeah.
I think to answer your question, yes.
You will watch
I will watch this show at some point. Again, much like last week, I don't know if this is the next show I will be watching,
But it
it's-
will-
I'll end up watching it at some point.
At some point,
very
yeah.
soon.
Knowing that it ends is big for me.
That is
Like
only
that it's two seasons. It does that.
yeah.
That means it doesn't drag on.
Do you think that the 2 seasons is based off of one book, or do you think it's
That I'd be interested to see that.
Yeah.
I think it's probably based off of one book, but we'd have to see.
I am going to give this show
Oh yeah, out of 10.
out of 10. It is like just under an 8. It's like a 7.9.
All right.
It's pretty.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
All right. Okay.
I think this
okay.
is a very well written, well done show.
Yeah. I think my thoughts on this show are it's engaging. Like it's a super engaging show.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that the book is really, really good, and that like lends credence to the show being really, really good. But there were moments like the school scene where like I'm like I don't know, maybe it's just like the screenwriters, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe the adaptation isn't always the most on point, but the story itself is so good that it's going to drive right past that. And the fact that you have like it's weird to see Adam Scott play such a normal guy.
He's done a couple like
He's so
drama straight man performances.
He's so good at it, but I'm so used to him being like Derek, the goofy brother in Step Brothers, or
Yeah.
Ben Wyatt, or like the guy from Ghosted. I don't remember the
I don't
character's
remember.
name.
But he's done a handful of like straight man dramas.
yes, and the thing is,
And
he's
he's
so
good
good.
at it.
He is so good in them. That it
Krampus. How could we forget Krampus?
But it's interesting to see all like Reese Witherspoon's another person, right? Like she's legally blonde.
Mm-hmm.
In this show, she is not legally blonde. Shailene Woodley is the detergent lady, the child
Mm-hmm. She's-
soldier.
she's-
She's not.
The detergent series.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman is
Divergent. Detergent. Sorry, go ahead. What? Nicole Kidman?
yeah, I don't know what Nicole Kidman. Laura Dern is Admiral Holdo, but she's not. But
Laura Dern.
and also with you. But it's really cool to see all of these people in like normal people roles, you know? Like they're like half playing themselves. Like these are rich, affluent white people, which all of these people are.
Yeah. I'm
And Zoe
still-
Kravitz?
I'm trying to get past the.
The Laura Dern worship.
I wonder if we can find like a Laura Dern.
The Church of Laura Dern.
We need to get a Laura Dern candle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Anyway, go ahead. Finish your thoughts. I'm
Could
sorry.
you get someone being like, "Oh, you're what are you practicing? Oh, I'm a Dernist. We practice Dernism in this house." The patron saint.
That's a good one. Anyway, your thoughts.
I will watch this. There is a Laura Dern candle.
Fuck yeah.
Buy it. It will always hold a place on our set.
That is
Um,
amazing.
I will watch this at some point. This is a good show. I thought
It's
it was a
good.
great show.
It's good.
I loved everything about it. Like I said, there were parts where I think like maybe the screenwriting just kind of They didn't flesh it out as much as
Right.
maybe they wanted. Or maybe the thing is, maybe it was too much, and they're like, yeah, we got to cut it back some.
Yeah.
I will watch it at some point. I was going to go really high with this show.
I almost want to adjust mine. That it's
Yeah.
7.9 was too low, but go ahead.
I was going to give the show just a solid 9.
Hey, producer Josh. Are the rules that I can change my
Yeah, what
score?
are the rules?
I've already given it a 7.9. I wanted to adjust
You wanted
it.
to adjust it. You're the
For the sake of my editing, what you say first is your score.
7.9.
7.9
Baby.
it is.
Actually,
Rough
it's
life.
more like a 8.5. But anyway,
It's up there. It's a very good show.
for the sake of editing.
What are you gonna? You're not gonna edit that. You're not gonna like cut one and put the other one in there, are
that's
you?
really funny. Anyway,
7.9.
I'm imagining now you have like graphics that pop up that say what we give it out of 10.
Yep, and I custom make those,
Yeah.
so 7.9.
I'm just imagining it now. Now, Bellamy made you do the thing where it says 7.9 and then it crosses out and it's 8.5.
well, that was Big Little Lies. As always, we're gonna have producer Josh dig into the hat to see what we're watching next week, while we tell you about where you can find us on the internet. If you are
Yes.
already listening, you can find us there.
There's a whole back catalog there. Go ham. Go nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like 106 episodes.
Yeah, we've been doing this
107?
for a super long time. The only new addition, other than producer Josh, is that we also have a YouTube, which you can find us there. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Telling your
First
friends
of all-
is the best way for us to keep this thing going.
And on top of that, subscribing to YouTube,
Yes.
huge for us.
So find us on YouTube and listen to us on any audio networks. Also find us on Instagram. I'm sure there's an Instagram handle down
Yep,
there somewhere.
somewhere down there.
YNST
Yep.
Podcast. We post a lot
You know,
of...
I think it's most applicable from the scripture, Dernism chapter 4, verses 8 through 12,
yes.
in which Laura says, "Find us on YouTube.
Yeah.
You've never seen that podcast, and subscribe.
YNST,
Tell your friends, for good shall grow. It is the word of I, Laura Dern."
Yes. YNST podcast on the Instagram. We post a lot of kind of wacky behind the scenes
Yeah.
stuff. We also ask you what
There's-
stuff we should be watching.
There
things
is a
like that.
wacky behind the scenes thing about the next song, Too Close, that I'm really hoping comes out. Otherwise, my comment in this episode is really off topic.
If you know people who are Big Little Lies fans, tell them.
Leave
these-
comments
these
on the
two
Facebook, the Instagram, and the
idiots
YouTube, and be like,
watched.
"Hey guys, you're gonna love it."
Was that enough time? You figure
Do
out?
we pull something new? If
figure
it's
out what
not Young
we're
Sheldon,
watching?
I quit.
Next week, we are watching... I can't fucking believe this. We are watching Young Sheldon.
Oh my God! Yes.
This is not a
That's
plant.
staged.
No,
that's
this is not
staged. Oh my God! Yes.
This actually happened.
This is incredible. This is amazing. All right, we're watching Young Sheldon. We have 2 goals now. 1, watch Young Sheldon. 2, we got to get, what's his name? Ian
Armitage.
Ian Armitage. We got to get him on the show.
Oh
Young
my
Sheldon.
God.
Wow, that couldn't have been more perfect.
Holy bazinga. Okay, here we go. What do we got? We are rocking
Well,
with
you see, Mother, I should not have killed 7
Seven
seasons
seasons.
already.
Didn't the show just start?
I thought it just started.
7 seasons.
Wow.
Is there an 8-sided die you can roll?
There's 83 episodes already.
Did you bring him new dice, or is he still
No,
rocking?
they're over
okay,
there.
okay.
Yeah,
Roll the
yeah,
8-sided die.
We are watching season 5.
Oh,
okay.
no. Okay. 5 hasn't started. Oh, you know what? I think it's greenlit for 7, and they...
Okay.
so it looks like they're only through 4. So...
All right, so
I guess we can roll the 8-sided die, and then if it's over...
I've got a 4-sided die.
we got.
Oh, yeah, we do have a 4-sided die.
have a 4-sided
yeah,
die.
yeah.
It's not the 4-sided die. Here's the 4-sided die.
Oh my God.
Yeah, season 5 hasn't started, but it looks like they're greenlit for
Can we
7.
can I get a little ragey here? Apparently, Jim Parsons was getting paid $1 million per episode, and Ian Armitage is getting paid $30,000 per episode. Woof.
Season... What are we... What season...
Season 4.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Okay. We've
Epis-
got... Looks like... how many episodes is this
I'm-
season?
IMDb showing 18.
Okay.
So
roll it.
I don't
All
know
right.
if you're looking at something else. We know how
Let's-
trustworthy that is.
Yep.
You know what? Let's just go with it. We'll do the 20
roll the
sided
20.
die.
Roll the 20.
Episode 18.
Oh God. Okay, the most
Wait, are we
recent. We went from the very first Big Little Lies to the most recent
is-
Young
This
Sheldon.
is the weirdest thing.
This has been the weird.
Wow. Okay.
This is, I think, the the most recent episode.
season finale. Yeah.
May 13th
Oh,
of this
wow.
year
Of this
is when
year,
this
20
episode aired.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
Wow.
The episode is titled "The Wild and Woolly World of Nonlinear Dynamics."
God damn it.
Missy's first
I
heartbreak.
quit.
Yeah.
quit.
I don't want to do this. Can we pull it in? No.
Missy's first heartbreak triggers a series of events that lead the Cooper family to the brink. Oh boy. I'm actually. This is going to be. Yeah.
I don't. We always seem to have thoughts on Chuck Lorre, so. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do this celebrity deathmatch style.
Yes.
Okay. Fight 1 is Hemsworth versus Skarsgård. The main event is Laura Dern versus Chuck Lorre.
That was our episode of Big Little Lies. Again, thanks for listening or watching on the YouTube. If you're not watching, do so.
Yeah.
Tune in next week where we're watching Young
Sheldon.
in a series of unexpected events.
No, we watched that show already.
Oh, okay. We'll see you next week.
Okay, see you.
You can't do that.
What? I love that show. It's a great show.
You never seen that.